Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 149 of our Get Your Goals annual challenge. Today we are talking about step 5 of the physical goal process. Every month we are going to talk about at the end of the month and go through a specific goal for the area of the life framework that we're talking about. This month we're focusing on physical well-being, physical health, and I picked my goal as exercising every day for an hour, at least an hour. Can always do more, but at least 1 hour. And then I'm going through our entire 7-step goal process as part of that. Now, I did get a thing to make my goal process on, but I haven't started writing backwards, so I'll do that maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Before the end of the month, I promise to have it done. That's all I'm going to commit to. It's a holiday weekend, so lots of friends, lots of family, lots of fun, and not necessarily prioritizing writing backwards on a graphic for my daily videos. So today, our step 5 is to identify measures. How are we going to measure? How are we going to know if we're making progress or not? And then we're going to track that progress. Grab my magnifying glass and see what I have to say about this topic. If you want more information on this topic and every topic that we talk about, I've been playing with ChatGPT and doing a write-up for each day's challenge in addition to the video, and that is on the Get Your Goal, not the Get Your Goals annual challenge, the Get Up and Go challenge private Facebook page. So you have to sign up for the private Facebook page. Tell us you're not going to spam, please, or I'm not going to let you in. But once you get in, all of the previous Get Up and Go challenges from 2020, 2021, the 30+ day challenges are all in there. There's a couple of other challenges, some no-nonsense Novembers, just stuff that I've learned along the way that I share lessons learned, as well as last year's entire annual challenge, the BU 365-day challenge to do one thing every day that continuously improves us, as well as this year's challenge, the Get Your Goals annual challenge. We've already covered emotional, mental, spiritual, and now we're covering the physical area and aspect of our life. So we're setting goals specifically with that in mind. So you could go there to guide 17 and get the write-up. Guide 16 is where all of the previous videos are stored in case you want to watch them, rewatch them, catch up, etc. So how do we go about identifying measurements? How are we going to measure? How are we going to know if we're making progress? And why and how would we want to track that? Now, I'm doing a pretty simple goal for this particular exercise. Either I exercise an hour a day or I don't. So in order to track that, all I have to do is I could do a yes or no measure. Yes, I did it. No, I didn't do it. And hopefully I'll just have yeses all the way across my little spreadsheet because I love Excel spreadsheets. I still love Excel spreadsheets and all of the other equivalents of that type spreadsheet because you can take them and you can turn them into fun graphs. And the more fun you can add to your tracking and documenting, the more likely you are to do it. So we want to document, we want to find some way to document our progress. And I like to document things. Obviously, I have literally hundreds of notebooks around me that I believe that if my life is worth living, it's worth recording. So I keep track of a lot of things and I write a lot of stuff down and I write a lot of notes for all the things I learned because then I can go back, grab my magnifying glass and revisit some of those things. So lots of different ways to document things, right? You could journal, you could have a journal, you can use technology nowadays. There's computer apps, there's online programs, there's actually wearable devices. One thing about the physical area and aspect of our life, it's very measurable. It's easy to measure your heart rate, your fitness level, your BMI, your weight, your activity level, your sleep. All of those things can be measured now with wearable devices. And my wearable device is around here somewhere, but I haven't really been wearing it because I've been tracking myself for so long. I pretty much know how my body feels if I'm following what I say I'm going to do or I'm not. If I'm not eating right, my body tells me I'm not eating right. If I'm not getting exercise, I freeze up and my joints freeze up and it's hard to move. So we want to track things, find a way that works for you. Again, there's apps now for our phones, and pretty much all of us are walking around with our phones all the time these days. What are some things we could measure? Again, physical things, depending on what your goal is, are really, really easy to measure. Weight measurements, we can do our weight, our actual physical weight, step on a scale. We can do our measurements. We can track our blood pressure. I did a whole 90-day blood pressure challenge because I needed to reduce my blood pressure and I didn't want my doctor to prescribe me a medication for my blood pressure. So I asked them to give me 90 days and I actually turned that into a 90-day reduce your blood pressure challenge or control your blood pressure challenge. Some people, I used to prior to my sudden cardiac arrest, have super duper low blood pressure. And then it flipped and then it became really, really, really high. And I needed to find ways to control that. And now I'm happy to say my blood pressure is really, really good because I incorporated those things that I learned in the challenge into my everyday life, my everyday activity. So today, what are we going to do? Our action item is to think of how you're going to measure and how you're going to document your goal and your progress toward this goal. Share it in the comments below. Any questions, hit me up. I've literally tracked and figured out ways to measure things that are normally not measurable. We want to be able to measure, and we've done this in this challenge and we'll continue to do it, things that aren't necessarily objective and easy to measure. How do we measure subjective things like how do I feel? How grateful am I? What's my mood or my energy like? So we want to pay attention to those things. What's the quality of our sleep? You might get 8 hours sleep a night, but now there's tracking devices for that as well. If your sleep is interrupted constantly or you're not getting good quality sleep, that makes a difference in how you feel with respect to energy and things. So we want to think about those subjective things as well as, and maybe what your goal is only measurable subjectively, but you want to find a way to track and document that so you know you're making progress. And so you can actually go back and look and see, okay, I did this and it worked really, really well for me. I went for a walk in nature. That always works really, really well for me. Great. I went for a walk with other people. That doesn't work very well for me. So I might not want to continue to do that as part of my hour a day of exercise. So apply it to the goal that you've set for yourself. All right. Have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow for day 150 already of this year's challenge. Have a great day. Bye.